Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm the Gnarly Gnome. This is the Weekly Pint, and it's kind of a special Weekly Pint because I'm surprising you and just going early today. I was on the fence about how I was going to do this. It is July 3rd, which is a precursor to the holiday tomorrow. Where I live here, fireworks are tonight. I'm taking my kids to the fireworks. We're going to hang out. I'm going to get a little tipsy doing that. So I figured instead of trying to make a show while there's fireworks happening, because it's probably about the same time that I would normally do the show, we'll just do it early. Why not? I make the rules, so I think it's okay. I think we're allowed to do that, even if it is a show. This would have been less of an issue before it was a show, when it used to not be a show. If you're new to this, that's how this thing started. During COVID, during the dark times, we would gather every Monday evening. We would hang out. We'd all have a drink together and just sit around and talk about whatever was happening in life at the time. It wasn't a lot of beer news because there was nothing happening. But things have changed since then. The world has opened back up. Beer is alive and well again. And so we still just keep getting together and drinking. It is a podcast, and well, I'll do it the hard way. I just realized I didn't hit the button. I still can't quite get used to the idea of this being a podcast and not just a live stream. So, sorry. I guess I don't need to apologize to you guys. I need to apologize to myself in about an hour when I have to pull the audio from the live stream. But hopefully you guys are off work today. If not, I'm sorry. I recognize that it's probably not as easy to crack open a drink. Josh says, I'm having a Sunny D seltzer on my lunch break. I want to hear what you think about that because I kind of loved the stuff. Let's see. Marco is drinking Athletic Light. I have not had that one yet, but I'm very curious about it. I've kind of been on the fence about a lot of their stuff. I'm going to crack one open. Got one of my Urban Artifact glasses. This is the Clasp membership glass, which doesn't exist anymore. I miss Clasp. That was fun, getting a glass every year. And I'm going to crack open. This is a little bit old. It's been hanging out in the studio fridge here for a while. This is a Hoppy Lager from High Grain, collaboration with 1 in 8, which I believe is a breast cancer awareness charity, since there's pink ribbons all over it. Let's see if it says anything here. Beer with benefits. 10% of taproom sales from this product benefit Pink Ribbon Girls. Yeah, so breast cancer. Pink Ribbon, hang on, if I can find a light to be able to read this. Pink Ribbon Good, not Pink Ribbon Girls. Different charity. Pink Ribbon Good provides needed services and peer support to people affected with breast cancer and gynecological cancer. It's light, crisp, spicy with cashmere and X14 hops. This beer is made for the 1 in 8 women affected with breast cancer, including friends and family of the businesses involved. Hops and malt were donated by CLS Farms and Origin Malt. All right. And it was canned on 3/9/23. So, yeah, a little old, but not too bad. Let's see. Elijah is having water and staying hydrated while I work. Again, for everybody that's at work, sorry, you can drink through me. Julia says not at work, just water right now. Still recovering from the last 3 days at work. We'll talk about my last week or so here. It has been brutal. Josh says I like it a lot, just not a fan of fake sugars. The fake sugar really sits on the tongue in a bad way. Other than that, the taste is great though. Yeah, I mean, you have to know what you're kind of walking into with it. It's not a screwdriver made with vodka and actual real orange juice. It's like a weird fake description of what that might taste like. That's the best way I can describe it. But I drank through every single one of them that we bought when we were camping last time, which there was supposed to be a video about that, but I don't think I ever finished making it. I think it's always hard with some of those videos because sometimes it takes me too long to do something, and then at a certain point it becomes not timely anymore, and I just kind of then move on to the next thing, trying to keep things timely. That's a me problem. All right. So this pours pretty. It is slightly hazy, very golden orange. It's very, I don't know. The color never, well, it translates pretty good on the screen. It's a pretty beer. All right, let me get my nose in here. Josh says, I liked that hoppy lager quite a bit. You drink something besides double IPAs? I didn't know that. I actually have some double IPAs packed in the cooler for tonight. I'm excited about them. It's very, there is definitely like a, almost what I'm in my head thinking of is some kind of a malty thing, but that's not what that is. It's like just got foam on my nose. I can't place what that aroma is, but there's definitely some stone fruit. Maybe some tropical kind of notes too. All right, let me dive in here. Still drinking good. Super crisp, but then there is like a nice body to that. It's not just like a really light, crispy lager with a bunch of hops thrown on top. There's actually balance to it, which, not that I don't trust what High Grain does, but I was kind of expecting something a little out of balance. Elijah says, in the realm of all styles are made up, is there a difference between a hoppy lager and an IPL? I don't know. I think that there's probably a huge crossover between the two. To me, hoppy lager would be less hoppy than an IPL. I interpret an IPL as kind of an over hopped hoppy lager, whereas hoppy lager would be kind of a little more still true to some actual real lager styles. Like you could take a hoppy pilsner and kind of lean a little heavier into the hops and turn it into a hoppy lager. It's also probably just if people disagree with that, which is definitely okay, I would go even further and say that I like using the term hoppy lager over IPL, just because I feel like it's maybe a little better of a description of what you're in for. I think, going back to the actual question of in the realm of all styles are made up, I do not believe that statement at all. I guess when you really break it down, at some point they were all made up, but they were made up by somebody, but they were describing something. But I think that they are still extremely important, which when a lot of people say that now, Craft Parenting Joe says, what about milkshake IPAs? Do you have any of those in your cooler? I don't believe so. I'd have to double check. I have a couple sours, a whole bunch of lager, a couple IPAs. I'm trying to remember what else. I might have even thrown some Titana Boa from Rheingeist in there just to get all crazy tonight, but I don't know if I actually ended up doing that. I think it might still be over there. I don't know. Going back to the styles are made up. I think styles are extremely important, and I think that when a lot of people say that all styles are made up, it's almost like they're telling us that they're not important anymore, that you can just kind of call a beer whatever you want and to hell with it. You can make it up, and you can call something, Bob's style, and you're completely in your right to do that, which you are. You obviously are in your own right to do whatever you want, but you're doing a disservice to the end customer of that product. When I pick this beer up, even hoppy lager is not a style. That's not a beer style. With that being said, when you put hoppy lager on something, I know exactly what this beer is going to be. I know what I'm getting out of this. I'm not going to be surprised. If I poured this and it was a hoppy Schwarzbier, which is still a hoppy lager and it's still correct, but you've now done your customer a disservice by calling it that. You should call it something else. pushing that even further, if you call something a Schwarzbier and it comes out like this, that's wrong, obviously, too. You're doing a disservice. But then if you call it a dark lager, I think that's okay. So I don't think styles are made up. I think that it is whatever you decide to call a beer, make it up or not. I think that it needs to be very descriptive of what that beer is. This calling things that the customer doesn't, no, let me rephrase that. Calling something that makes you think it's going to be one thing, and then when you get something else, I think is wrong. If you call something an IPA, it better be hoppy, because that's what people are expecting from it. If you call something a Pilsner, it better be light and crispy and clear, because that's what people are expecting. There's in that way, I think beer styles are definitely not made up, and they are extremely, extremely important. Get off my soapbox. I'm not going to go through any beer news today, but I do have a couple things, just kind of getting everybody back on track of where I'm at right now. No Brewcast again this week, and I will definitely explain why. Elijah says that style descriptors are definitely important and should describe what I'm to expect. I want a style to be called what it is. Cold IPA to me is an example of a made-up, mostly nonsensical style, but I'm willing to be wrong. I mostly agree with that. I think that New England IPAs at one time kind of fell into that a little bit for me too. Of there wasn't enough of a consensus about what the style was to get everybody on board with it in the same way, and also to get me to know what to expect. And it's almost that. It is still almost that way with New England IPA. If I order a New England IPA and it's got bitterness to it, I think that's wrong, because that's not what the style is. I should not get that when I order a New England IPA. I should be ordering a light, fluffy, fruity beer. You call it a hazy IPA, and I think that there's a little more latitude of what that means, though. So it's tough with some of those newer styles. Cold IPA is extremely hard because there still is such a disagreement about what it is. With that being said, most of the cold IPAs that I have ordered have not surprised me when I drank them. I think that the flavor profile has been fairly similar on all of them, even if maybe the technique or the actual styles are still in discussion between people, if that makes sense. Josh says, I know when I order a cold IPA that it's going to be clear and hoppy. Yes, like in that way, I think that the style doesn't surprise me when I'm ordering it. But there is still such a because there are some beer styles that the technique is the style. Like there is, Lambic kind of falls into that with a lot of people, that they think, that the technique is what makes that style, or the location that you make it makes that style, which is a whole other can of worms. So I don't know. I should know what I'm about to drink when I order a style of beer. That's the bottom line for me. Like I was talking about before, there is no Brewcast this week because I have been slammed with everything. So not only are the typical chaos happening with work and all of that, I'm replacing a fence in my yard, and we're almost done. I was hoping to be done yesterday, and we got close, but we're still not there yet. All of the almost all of the hard work is done. It's just a couple panels that need to go up now, and then we're done. But it has been consuming every minute that I'm here at home, and even some of the times where I shouldn't be at home, I should be out doing something like recording a Brewcast. So I'm tired and I'm sore, and I have not been able to do the things that I wanted to do. With that being said, I have plans this week to record something. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a brewcast or if I'm just going to end up making it into a YouTube video or something. And then I have a couple podcasts scheduled definitely in the coming weeks. So we'll be back on a normal schedule here very soon. So sorry that there's no podcast again. I feel like I've apologized for no podcast weeks a lot in the last year, but I also feel like my reasoning for them is justified. It's at least justified to me. Whether or not it's to you, I don't know. But man, this this fence project is way more labor intensive than I anticipated. It wasn't just like replacing the fence. The reason we had to replace the fence is because we just had so much honeysuckle out of control growing into the fence, and really the only way to get the fence taken care of is to first take care of the honeysuckle, which if you've ever tried to remove honeysuckle, you know how miserable that is. So we have, currently in my backyard, I have a mountain of brush. It is probably, I'm going to say 7 feet tall, maybe 15 feet long by 10 feet wide. It's just a massive mountain of cut up honeysuckle. And then tons of old, horrible wooden fence piled up, and then nice new fence that is almost done. So I was out there this morning building one of 2 gates, which was fun. And so my back hurts and my arms hurt, and I'm tired. So I'm looking forward to to tonight's fireworks. We'll call it fireworks party that we go to, where I just get to kind of sit in a chair and drink heavily, and hopefully my kids just run around and do their own thing. That's what I'm hoping for. Sounds like they're running around and doing their own thing right now. Hopefully they're not destroying something, which they probably are. But I do, as we kind of go into this holiday and everybody is celebrating, I want to talk a little bit about what we drink when we celebrate. I talked a little bit about what I'm packing in my cooler, and on kind of the heels of all of this Bud Light stuff, it kind of got me thinking about this. As craft beer drinkers, like, we've spent so much time hating on light beer, yet you get into these holidays like this, and that's kind of what everybody's expected to drink. And I'm not saying you should go one way or another, but I think that for me, I definitely drink a ton, and I mean a ton of light beer on holidays like this. The majority of what I'm going to be putting in a glass is going to be some kind of light, crispy beer. I think tonight I'm going to go with the everyday lager, ordinary everyday lager. Can't think of how they worded it exactly, from Alexandria. It's his kind of light American lager, and it is crispy and delicious and perfect for what I want. Caroline says, hi from IKEA, drinking a raspberry lemonade while Lily finishes up her hot dog snack. That sounds like a blast. However, I cannot go to IKEA and... Hang on, I'm trying to fix... Okay. I cannot go to IKEA and not get meatballs. I think that's a rule. So, while yes, I'm going to be drinking a ton of light American lager while I'm at a 4th of July party, I think it is also extremely important to throw some other craft beers into your cooler, even just to kind of break up your drinking throughout the evening, but to share with people. And on that note, share your light lagers too. If you see somebody sitting around drinking one of those macro beers, toss them one of yours. And I think that not every time, not everybody is going to just all of a sudden have something click inside their head and be like, oh my God, this is what I'm drinking now. But to start showing people that there are other light beers out there that are not just Bud, Miller, Coors. I have not gotten my hands on the new fretboard light yet. If I had remembered that, I probably would have tried to snag some of that for tonight, but I will definitely be doing that soon. At some point in the summer, I will be drinking a bunch of that to, for research purposes, to make sure it's living up to what it needs to be. I always put myself out there to research for all of you guys. Speaking of research, I'm going to research some of this. Hang on. Such a good beer. So good. So regardless of how you guys are all celebrating the 4th, I hope that it involves having a beer in hand. Take pictures, tag me on Instagram, show me what you're drinking while you're drinking, and everybody be safe. Don't blow your fingers off. You know the drill. Caroline says we've only seen garage beer at Kroger, trying to get our hands on fretboards this summer. Me too. We were at Meijer this weekend picking up some random grocery stuff. Not the store I typically shop at all, but it's one of my wife's favorite places to go grocery shopping. So I wasn't about to fight her, and I said, "Oh, while we're here, I need to grab I'm going to grab some beer to throw in the garage fridge." Because I knew that there was probably going to be some people over at our house this weekend helping with this fence project. Needed to have some light, crispy beer. And I had in my head, like, I don't care which one it is. I don't care if it's Cheetah or Garage Beer or Cold Boy from Taft's or Legendary Lager from Madry. I just need something light and crispy that's local. There was not a single local light option at Meijer. There was some local craft, obviously, and plenty of light beer. But no local craft beer that was a light kind of crispy boy. So that bothered me. Caroline says we'll be drinking about a quarter of the beer fridge between now and tomorrow night. So much day drinking tomorrow. We'll do some good day drinking tomorrow too. But I need to finish this fence tomorrow. Is actually my big plans for the actual holiday. But I will definitely be drinking while I am doing it because why not? So if you ever drive past my house or come over for something and you see fence that's really crooked, that was probably one of the pieces that I was putting up while I was drinking heavily on the 4th of July. So you can always use that trivia for something. Anyways, I'm going to cut it a little bit short here so I can go help get everything ready upstairs because we are supposed to be leaving the house in like minutes. So cheers, everybody. Everybody be safe. Everybody have fun. I don't know how many other places have fireworks tonight, but if you don't have fireworks where you live, go somewhere where there are some fireworks, and then also go somewhere where there are fireworks tomorrow because 4th of July is one of my favorite holidays. I love it, and hopefully you guys can enjoy it the same way that I do. We'll see you guys soon. Stay tuned for some more podcasts coming in the very near future. I promise. Craft Parenting Joe says Garage Beer is great. Can't find fretboard light. I'm sure it'll start appearing a lot very soon. I think they said, I don't remember what the number of retailers they said it's in already, but it's building. I'll be there. Happy 4th, everybody. Cheers. I think science has also proven that beer tastes better when you're blowing shit up. So that's why the 4th is so great. Science.